Some women don't chase, and yet, they are never forgotten. They move like tides, withdrawing, returning, reshaping the shore without permission. They speak little, but the air bends around them. A man may think he knows her, but by the time he reaches for her, she is already somewhere else. A man's ego is a castle built in sand. From a distance, it looks unshakable, walls of charm, towers of confidence. But inside, the rooms are furnished with fears he cannot name. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask a man wears even to himself. And every mask fears the one who can see through it. First weapon, presence without pursuit. The first silent weapon does not arrive as a threat. It arrives as stillness. The woman simply exists, radiant in her own orbit. She does not rush toward him, does not orbit around his moods, does not hunger for his validation. And this confuses him, because the ego feeds on pursuit, on being the prize. When she does not play this game, he begins to feel something dangerous, the slow erosion of control. She does not deny him attention. She simply does not center her world around him. And in that space, his mind begins to circle back, searching for ways to draw her closer. It is in this searching that the first crack appears. Second weapon, the mirror of shadow. The second weapon is subtler, colder. She mirrors him, not his charm, not his light, but his shadow. When he is insecure, she does not rush to reassure him. When he plays to her jealousy, she does not bite. When he withdraws to test her, she lets him drift into the silence he created. This is where the Jungian concept of projection collapse blooms. He had placed an idealized image on her, the fantasy of a woman who would bend to his patterns, mirror his pride, amplify his importance. But the mirror she offers reflects something far more dangerous. His smallness, his manipulations, his fear of being unseen. The ego is not built to withstand this. Panics. It lashes out. And in the quiet between them, he starts to wonder whether she has always seen the truth. Third weapon, withdrawal of energy. The third silent weapon is not an attack. It is the absence of light. She takes back her energy, the attention, the warmth, the gentle pull of her interest, and she does it without announcement. He will feel it immediately. Her words grow fewer, her eyes less seeking. The space she once filled with her presence becomes airless. For a man whose ego has lived on the nourishment of her attention, this is starvation. The Stoics knew this. To rule oneself is the only true empire. She rules her kingdom now, not in anger, but in sovereignty. First turning point, his disquiet. At first, he may tell himself she is just busy, that she will return as before. But the silence lingers. He reaches for the version of her he once knew, and touches only the cool surface of a closed door. The ego begins to replay old moments, when she smiled in quiet understanding, when she listened without judgment, when she looked at him as though she knew the part of him he never dared to name. Now that gaze is gone, and in its place, nothing. Second turning point, the unraveling. Men chase what feeds them, but they are haunted by what starves them. Her absence becomes a ghost, trailing him into other rooms, other conversations, other women. Jung said that what is repressed does not disappear. It waits in the shadows, whispering. So her silence whispers in his mind, "You were never in control." And for a man who has built his identity on dominance, this is unbearable. Empowerment shift, her becoming. But this story is not about him. It is about the woman who knew her worth long before he did. She does not withhold to manipulate. She withdraws because she has chosen herself. This is individuation, the breaking away from roles assigned by another's ego. She no longer exists as a projection for his needs. She becomes her own symbol. And in this becoming, she learns that love without respect is only performance. And performance is not love. Closing liberation line. The woman who walks away in silence isn't weak. She simply sees more. She knows a man's ego can be pierced without a single word, and that the deepest wounds are inflicted not by anger,